How's it going, everybody? Um, it's been a day, and glad it's winding down. Wanted to make a video about life, about realizing that after a strong desire, a strong season of depression, of sadness, grief, of lack of almost every positive emotion that one could experience. There's hope. There's hope, and there was a time where I was laying. I would go to work. I work some rinky-dink bullshit job, and it provided some kind of money. You know what I mean? But it wasn't nothing to brag about. I wasn't making uh, what I know I'm worth. You know what I mean? Uh, I wasn't making good money at all. And so the depression was so bad that I would just go to work and then come back, and do the basic things I need to do. Slam a few beers and uh, maybe eat something and just frazzle and go to sleep. And I would just most of the days I would stay in bed, and I would desire to die, and I would call out for death. I would call out for God to just to slay me, to send an angel to cut me down if such a thing exists, such an entity exists. And so this persisted for a long while, a long while. And I was going to a counselor at the same time. And anyway, it was partially due to the fact that I gave up on my desire to live. My warrior spirit was crushed because of some experiences that I experienced as a law enforcement officer. And I had two letdowns, in the midst of my career, and they were recent. And anyway, so they really affected me. That and then instead of just getting up and fighting to get back what those bastards tried to take away from me, my spirit was shattered. And at the same time, I reached out to God, to the God of the Hebrews. And I thought there was hope there, because I was reading in the Old Testament how there was many victories in His name. There's many victories for His people. And I stuck to that for years. And this was prior, there was a law enforcement letdown, and then there was a religious period from from here, let's just say, to here, and then there was the breakdown right in here, and then right in here, this is what I was talking about earlier, during this time period. And I was working some bullshit, restaurant job, and and this desire, this spirit of defeat But it was at the same time, I knew there was life within me. And I knew that perhaps this will pass and I wouldn't die. But I kept on keeping on, one day at a time. And, eventually started going back to the gym. And because I sold my weight equipment, I was sold all my equipment like a fucking idiot. Uh, right, I think it was during or yeah, it was during the pandemic because I needed some money, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So, um, and so the importance of persisting, of finding a little bit of hope and clinging to that, and that'll take you a long way. It'll take you a long way. And so my faith in the Hebrew God uh, was dwindling at that point in time because prior to that, it was all about the Hebrew God. And it was all about uh, this covenant that I thought I had with him. But in reality, it was a one-sided covenant because in my mind, I thought I had this covenant with him. But yet I was met with defeat, and that according to the Old Testament, um, that's not in his nature, right? It's not in his modus operandi, you know, operandi, whatever you want to call it, however it's said. And so I had to throw that to the cat, making all kinds of racket, tearing up the couch. It's another reason why not to have a cat, and so keep on, take it one day at a time. If you're in that struggle of deep depression, and suffer if you have to suffer, go through the mental um, lows, right? Go through the emotions, cry if you have to cry, but do your best to get through that time, and then look around, assess what you have to do, assess what you have to assess, regather yourself, plan accordingly, and then execute it. Keep going. Keep going. Every day isn't going to be perfect, okay? But strive for excellence. And don't let your past affect your present for too long. Yeah, we all suffer. We all have regrets. We all have choices that we've made that we strongly desire them not to have been made. But we do our best with what we have. We do our best to rebuild. We do our best. There's always an opportunity to rebuild, to become better, to achieve more, to do more. And there's always hope. So, victory, the victor is the man or woman that keeps attempting, keeps trying, keeps going forth and doing his or her best to achieve what must be done. And if you do that, you will become better than you were a month ago. You will become better than you were a year ago. You will become better than you were a decade ago. So just keep going, keep achieving, and you'll grow. You'll become strengthened. You will become stronger than you were before. There's a quote that I heard while I was at the gym about, I forgot who said it, but a warrior must be careful not to allow his spirit to be broken. And that's what happened to me. It could happen to anyone. I thought when I was younger that it would never happen to me. And I told myself it would never happen to me. But the choices I made allowed myself, prepared myself for that fate. So at the same time, what you say will not happen to you can potentially happen to you. So Murphy's Law is right. We learned that in the academy. You learn that in the military. You learn that in, I'm sure, in other professions too. But anyhow, have a good one, guys. Keep it up. Stay positive. Do your best with what you got as you can. Go forward towards victory.